Hello dear friends, welcome to GATE Academy Global. So before starting today's session, I would like to take the concurrence or the feedback from each one of you regarding the quality of video as well as audio. If it is perfect, just write perfect over the live chat and then we shall start today's session. Anyways, would be waiting for your replies over the live chat. If the quality of audio as well as video is it perfect, just write perfect over the live chat. Anyways, the agenda behind today's video is very precise and clear, which you can see over the thumbnail of the YouTube, and at the same time you can see over the digital board. In today's session precisely I am going to discuss about how to prepare for mathematics, and obviously as the videos are supposed to come on GATE Academy Global, so the mode of communication would be English. So probably the student who are not well acquainted with Hindi, perfect, no? The student who are not well acquainted with Hindi, definitely they are going to be benefited from this particular video. And at the same time, along with the GATE, even I have included engineering services examination, because once you will be seeing the syllabus which have come within the GATE electrical, electronics and instrumentation, specifically ESE electrical have also got the syllabus of engineering mathematics. So consolidately, I would be discussing about what must be our preparation strategy for getting the maximum marks in GATE examination and at the same time engineering services examination, which are supposed to come after some time. Anyways, so without getting delayed, let me straight away jump into my prepared PPT, and even few of the important point, if you find over the PPT, you can write somewhere, because I do not know exactly which type of student you are, whether you have appeared in GATE 2021, whether you are supposed to attempt the GATE first time in GATE 2022. So just I wanted to have the glimpse how many number of students are online. The 13 number of students are online. Just wanted to know, out of 13 number of concurrent viewers, how many of us have attempted GATE in 2021 and how was the state of the GATE? Whether it has gone terribly wrong, whether it was moderate, or you could manage to score, or you are able to manage a good score within the GATE 2021. So I would like to take the input from each one of you. Sir, when will you only mathematics live class course will available? So now I just wanted to know, Shreyas, so if in future, if my live classes come, definitely it would be coming in English alone. So just wanted to know whether you are well acquainted with the Hindi or whether you are well acquainted with the English. If you are well acquainted with the Hindi, our already live courses have been begun and our great Guru Pal sir is taking the classes on engineering mathematics. Definitely you can join that class. So just wanted to know, out of 17 concurrent viewers, how many of us have appeared in GATE 2021 and how was the state of GATE 2021? Whether you have done tremendously wrong, or I can say the paper which you have appeared, it was almost okay. I want the input from each one of you. Anyways, without getting delayed, let me straight away jump into the PPT. Yes, you can see over the digital board. The agenda behind today's video is to build a preparation strategy for engineering mathematics, specifically for the GATE. And once you will visualize the syllabus, just a minute. Once you will visualize the syllabus of electrical, you will get to know even in the engineering services examination, even the engineering mathematics has also started its participation. So put together, I would just be focusing over the preparation strategy on engineering mathematics, keeping in our mind GATE and specifically the three branches which I would be covering in today's preparation strategies are nothing but the electronics, electrical as well as instrumentation, because lump sum their syllabus are same. Yeah, that's a different story. Together if we'll discuss about the GATE electrical, within the GATE electrical as well as GATE electronics, the numerical method is not in their part, whereas in GATE instrumentation, yes, numerical method do also exist. Yes sir, I am attended moderate questions. So may I know exactly in which branch you have attended GATE? Manika Nandan, and similarly Shreyas, easy mechanical. Okay, so you are from mechanical. Anyways, let me focus over this slide alone. So is that part clear to all of us? What is the agenda behind today's video? I would be trying to cater to have a good preparation strategy on engineering mathematics, keeping on our mind GATE, electrical, electronics and instrumentation, and from this and the last year the ESE also includes engineering mathematics within the electrical, so I would be covering that also. So let me briefly describe by myself. I am Sonal Kumar Agrawal. I have done my BE as well as MTech. I have been a scientist in BARC, so I would recommend one thing. At precisely 9 PM today, I would be giving a brief idea about all of the process of selection within the BRC as well as the atmosphere in BRC, what must be your approach to write the written examination of the BRC, what must be your approach when you go through the interview session of the BRC. Each and everything would be communicated in the great detail today sharply at 9 PM, specifically in our main channel. So if you guys wanted to know what is the selection process in BRC and how efficiently you would be preparing yourself for the BRC, so tune in our main channel precisely at 9 PM. Yes. So anyways, let me move into the next slide. See, whenever the preparation strategy of any of the subject comes in a mind, always the mind asks how much weightage of that subject comes into the GATE. That's the first thing. How many number of questions do come from that segment of this subject, and at the same time we also used to have one doubt in our brain, sir, what about the difficulty level as well as the subject length. My dear friends, so far till GATE 2020, the weightage of mathematics was somewhere 10 marks, 8 marks, 11 marks, 9 marks, depending on the different streams as well as different sections of these streams. But in 2021, specifically they have mentioned the weightage of engineering mathematics would be somewhere 13%. What does it mean of it? The complete GATE had the marks of 100 marks. So out of 100 marks, the 13 marks was secured for the engineering mathematics itself. That's a huge thing. Why that's a huge thing? My dear friends, so far only the weightage of aptitude was got fixed. Yes, if you guys would be able to recall how many questions do come from the aptitude, the 10 number of questions do come from the aptitude. Out of 10 number of questions, the 5 are having the weightage of 1 mark, and similarly remaining 5 having the weightage of 2 marks. That means the 15 marks was fixed for aptitude, and the remaining 85 marks were distributed over the technical subjects including the engineering mathematics. But the first time in GATE 2021, they have clearly specified that we would be designing a paper such that the weightage of engineering mathematics would be in the range of 13%, or the 13% of the total marks of 100 is somewhere 13 marks. That's a huge. That means if you club the marks, the total marks carried by the aptitude and the total marks carried by the engineering mathematics, if you'll add them together, it goes somewhere 28 marks. And once you'll see the previous year cutoffs, you will get to know 28 marks used to be a safe marks if the difficulty level of your GATE paper is somewhere moderate. That means such a important subject now they have become. Aptitude already it was a important subject, but now the engineering mathematics have also become a very important subject. Now one thing should come in your mind, sir, whether it is important in terms of weightage. No, my dear friends, it's very important in terms of your technical clarity. If you are from mechanical, civil, electrical, electronics, computer science, what happens? Most of this subject which you are studying now, they have the base on the engineering mathematics. So until and unless you are not well acquainted with the engineering mathematics, the tools of the engineering mathematics like integration, differentiation, maxima, minima, probability, you would not be able to perform well even in your core subjects. So what I am saying, this 13 marks make hell amount of sense in terms of its weightage itself, but yes, the engineering mathematics or the concept of the engineering mathematics is still, it is very important when you really wants to understand the basic concept of your core subjects. Agreed now? So now let me briefly discuss about what was the pattern of GATE 2021 and what was the weightage, what was the toughness, what was the distribution of the marks of the engineering mathematics in different streams of GATE 2021. So the first problem, the first important point, the number of questions were asked in GATE examination. So anyways, for the sake of analysis, I have taken the reference of the 3 different papers, which are electronics, electrical and instrumentation. All of them had only 1 papers. So if you'll see, the number of questions which were asked from the engineering mathematics was in between 8 to 9 questions. It was in between 8 to 9 questions. You can see in GATE 2021 also, the number of questions which were asked from the engineering mathematics, specifically electrical, electronics and instrumentation, was in between 8 to 9 questions. And as they have committed that the weightage of engineering mathematics would be 13% of the total marks, which comes somewhere 13 marks. Yes, they have fulfilled their commitment. So the distribution of the marks within the GATE 2021 electrical, electronics and instrumentation was in between 12 to 13 marks. 12 to 13 marks. Why there is a variation between 12 to 13 marks? Because few of the questions are ambiguous problem, because few of the teacher may say that problem have come from the electromagnetic theory, and the few of the teachers may say that problem have come from the engineering mathematics, because they had the relationship with the vector calculus. So that is why I have written in between 12 to 13 marks. But one thing is quite sure, what they have committed, they are following strictly. That means, yes, the weightage of the engineering mathematics in GATE 2021 had been in the range of 13 marks, and probably they are going to follow this trend in future. They are going to follow this trend in future. Agreed? Why I have exclusively marked it? Because they have committed so many things. Like they have committed, they would be planning to have at least few number of problems from the MCQ, but none of the questions has appeared from a MSQ, sorry. None of the questions have appeared from MSQ either in electrical as well as electronics. So many commitment they have given, but they have not followed it. But specifically in engineering mathematics, the distribution of marks, whatever they have committed, they have followed it. And yes, from here onwards, you can make sure that the weightage of the engineering mathematics would fall somewhere in between 12 to 13 marks, or precisely 13 marks. 13 marks. Yes. So the number of questions were 8 to 9. The weightage was approximately 13 marks. And if you'll talk about the distribution of the marks, let's take the 8 number of question have come. The distribution of marks was half had the weightage of 2 marks, half of the questions had the weightage of 1 mark. Like out of 8 number of questions, like 4 questions had the weightage of 1 mark, which is somewhere 4 marks, and similarly remaining half, which is again 4 questions, had the weightage of 2 marks, and which would have the weightage somewhere 8. So once you add them together, the weightage goes somewhere 12 marks, as I have been communicated earlier. Agreed? Now if I'll say the difficulty level, if you'll visualize all of the questions paper which have come earlier, usually the difficulty level of the engineering mathematics used to be in between moderate to easy level. And even if I'll take the reference of 3 papers, electronics, electrical and instrumentation, again the difficulty level of the engineering mathematics was in between moderate to easy. So that means whatever the trend it has been following so far, in GATE 2021 also they have followed the same trend. Now the last thing comes in a picture. Sir, if I really want to prepare the engineering mathematics, should I categorize the engineering mathematics in terms of a lengthier subject, short subject or mediocre subject? I would say in compare with the rest of your technical subjects, like in instrumentation I can say process instrumentation, in electrical I can compare with the electrical machines, power electronics, power system. Similarly in electronics I can compare with the communication, electromagnetic field theory. I would say it is a comparatively long subject, because once you'll dive into its complete syllabus, you will get to know there are several subtopics which we need to cover, and the question do come from each and individual subtopics. So yes, if I would say the length of this subject, definitely I would be keeping the length of this subject comparatively longer. So this was the prima facie subject information which was engineering mathematics. The number of questions which do come in engineering mathematics, specifically if I take the reference of GATE 2021, electrical, electronics and instrumentation, the 8 to 9 question have come from this segment. Out of 8 number of questions, half of them were having the weightage of 1 mark, half of them were having the weightage of 2 marks. Lump sum, they had carried the marks of 12. Similarly, if we'll talk about their weightage, yes, as they have committed that they would be framing a question paper which would have the weightage of the engineering mathematics somewhere 13 marks, and yes, they have fulfilled their commitment. The variation of the marks was in between 12 to 13, precisely you can say 13. Difficulty level, so far the paper which have been coming earlier, The mathematics portion used to be the easier one. Specifically, GATE 2021 Electrical, Electronics and Instrumentation, I can say the questions were belonging into the range of moderate to easy, and similarly at last, if you really wants to dive into the complete concept of the engineering mathematics, one problem do come in our mind, sir, should I be keeping this subject into a long subject, mediocre subject or short subject? Definitely I would be keeping this is into the long subject. Agreed? Anyways, at very beginning, I would be bit professional. I would be reading each and individual points over the PPT. End of the day, I would give my crux. Because I have been teaching engineering mathematics since 10 years. So definitely, I have got a prima facie about the engineering mathematics. At very beginning, let me read each and individual important point over the PPT. End of the day, I would give my own analysis, which would be very beneficial. Now, the next thing comes to your mind. Many of the students who are not well acquainted with the engineering mathematics, many of the students do come from the diploma and probably they used to have a lateral entry and they do not have much grip over the engineering mathematics and they suffer a lot with the engineering mathematics. One thing is quite sure, if you are not having the good command over the engineering mathematics, you won't be able to do good in your GATE examination. Why? Because within the different technical subjects also you require the different tools of the engineering mathematics. So one thing should be in your mind, yes sir, if I start the preparation of GATE, the first subject must be in your hand, must be in your control, and that is nothing but the engineering mathematics. My dear friends, here comes the recommended books. The first book which I have kept at very beginning, it's nothing but the Higher Engineering Mathematics by B.S. Grewal. Probably many of the universities and many of the students do follow these books. So probably most of us would have this book. That's the first book of recommendation. The second book is gonna be R.D. Sharma, which we refer in class 11th as well as 12th. Anyways, I would give the brief detail which are the topics has to be referred from the R.D. Sharma, which are the topics has to be referred from the Higher Engineering Mathematics by the B.S. Grewal. And the third book, which is must-have book, is from our publication, which is nothing but the GATE Engineering Mathematics by GATE Academy. Agreed what I am saying? Now, I would give a brief strategy how you should follow the each and individual books. What must be your strategy? I would recommend to have this book. This book is from our publication, the GATE Engineering Mathematics by GATE Academy. And what must be your strategy? If you are from electronics background, do one thing. You open this book, you start from any of the topic. Let's take the first topic is linear algebra. Within the linear algebra, clearly the important theoretical aspects or the synopsis is clearly given. Do one thing, have a glimpse of all of the important theoretical portions and straight away jump it to your section. If you're from electrical background, once you'll go ahead, all of the questions are segregated in terms of their streams. So straight away you jump it to the electrical background. Agreed what I am saying? And try to solve each and individual questions without looking back its detailed solution. So what will happen? I am sure about it. If you have gone through our synopsis, probably you would be able to approach the 60% problem from the given streams. Once you're done with your stream, you can go ahead with the remaining streams. Like if you're from electrical, you can go ahead with the electronics as well as instrumentation. So end of the day, what would happen? Do you know? The engineering mathematics and the syllabus of the engineering mathematics is so common. You will be getting, the questions are getting repeated in different branches. And as far as this book is concerned, how many number of branches we are going to cover? We are covering civil, chemical, electronics, electrical, instrumentation, mechanical, production engineering as well as engineering services examination. So end of the day, what would happen? Do you know? Probably you might be stuck in 50% questions, but that questions repeatedly being asked in different stream. End of the day, you would become well acquainted with those sort of problem. So what would happen? At very beginning, after reading the synopsis, you would be able to solve the 50% questions from your corresponding stream. Either you're from electrical, electronics or instrumentation. I would say most of the students would be able to do this. Yes. Now what you do? Now you can expand your horizon. Like if you're from electronics, you can go ahead with the electrical as well as instrumentation questions. And now you'll see Not exact question, but the pattern of questions have start repeating. And you will see now this 50% would go down to the 40% or 30%. That means you could solve the 70% questions from your respective stream and you have been left out only with the 30%. Do one thing, go through its detailed solution. And once you'll go with its detailed solution, you'll also get to know we have been attached with so many number of QR codes where you would be getting the detailed solution of the each and individual problem. So what would happen? With the help of detailed solution, you would be able to figure it out how to approach this sort of problem. Not only that, even you will go into the solution section, we have given key points. The key points is very same as the synopsis of the theory. So what is happening over here? You are doing the reverse engineering. You have not straight away gone through the higher engineering mathematics, not the R.D. Sharma. You have started from the previous year GATE questions. And obviously, one of the best part regarding this book, how many number of branches are getting included? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Such a huge collection of the questions you have. And once you go through the each and individual questions, you get to know which type of the problems are getting framed in which particular topic. And once you are done with this, you can go ahead with the second as well as first book. How? Probably you could not solve the 30% questions from your stream or any of the stream. So for that you had to refer the book. For that you are going to refer the book. Yes, which books you had to refer? My dear friends, if any of the doubt comes from the basic topics like continuity, discontinuity, existence of the limit or the numerical problems based on limit, maxima, minima, then the calculus related problem like integration, differentiation, different kinds of the integration like gamma integration, like beta integration. For this basic topics, you can straight away jump into the R.D. Sharma, and probably you guys have referred the R.D. Sharma in 11th and 12th. So definitely you would be finding this particular book much easier because you have already followed in 11th and 12th. Not only that, even I have seen the probability related problem do come straight away. Probability related problem do come straight away from the R.D. Sharma. So these are the topics. If you find any sort of doubt, any sort of problem, you can refer back this book. So what is your methodology? Straight away jump into the previous year GATE problems. First read our synopsis, then go ahead with the questions. Try to segregate all of the problems or the kinds of the problem which you are not able to attempt. Keep aside with a paper of peace, and now you refer back either the R.D. Sharma. Which are the topics which you can refer over the R.D. Sharma? You can refer this many topics over the R.D. Sharma. Similarly, the mean value theorem, the calculus part is more than adequate because specifically in GATE 2021 syllabus, the calculus part is almost same which we have studied as a part of our 11th as well as 12th curriculum. Now, few of the topics like random variable, calculus, complex variable, those parts are not well dealt in R.D. Sharma. So definitely if you are finding any sort of doubt over this particular topic, you can refer back the higher engineering mathematics by B.S. Grewal. Yes, by B.S. Grewal. So could you understand what is the methodology I am just asking you to follow? Don't follow the first book and the second book. Start with the third book. Within the third book, first follow its synopsis. Try to get whatever the detailed concepts of the synopsis has been given. Try to visualize those all concepts within your brain and straight away jump into your corresponding branch of questions. And once you're done with your question, you can expand your horizon. Like if you're from electrical, you can go into the instrumentation as well as electronics. So end of the day, what would happen? Probably you may not be able to solve approximately 30% questions. Now that 30% questions or the concept behind the 30% questions has to come from the two books. From which are the books? Either it has to come from the R.D. Sharma, either it has to come from the B.S. Grewal. The mostly topic which you should be referring the R.D. Sharma, that's nothing but the continuity, discontinuity, limit, maxima, this all. And probably the 4 to 5 marks is straight away going to come from this segment itself. And yes, the higher engineering mathematics has not been covered over the RD Sharma. For that, I should be just referring one book, and that's nothing but the BS Grewal, and you can simply refer this over here, this over here. Agreed? Agreed, no? Now, here goes the basic required. Now what happens, I have seen the many of the students straight away jump into the mathematics and they find the mathematics bit difficult. I know most of the time why they find the engineering mathematics so difficult, because they are not well acquainted with the three basics of the engineering mathematics. The first is the number system. Many of us still struggles over the number system. If I would say, what does it mean by the rational number? What does it mean by the irrational number? What does it mean by the integer? What does it mean by the whole number? What does it mean by the natural number? Probably most of the student still fears a lot over the number system. My dear friends, in engineering mathematics, or for the time being mathematics, the basic most level is nothing but the number. The number in future becomes function, it becomes expression. So the basic most level of the engineering mathematics, for the time being mathematics, is number itself. So I would suggest to each one of you, whoever starts the mathematics, engineering mathematics, they should start from the basics of the number system. Basics of the number system. If you'll say how many number systems we have, so anyways I do not have much area to write over here, but let me go into the working board. So overall the complete number system can be bifurcated into the three parts. First, real number. Second, complex number. Yes. And third could be pure imaginary number. Within the real number, now we used to have rational as well as irrational number. Rational number is being written as Q. And within the rational number, we used to have integer. And within the integer, we used to have natural as well as whole number. So I would suggest to each one of you, you should have the clear-cut idea about the each and individual number, when those numbers are being used, what their symbolic representation is, and similarly when the n, z, q and r comes handy when we'll deal with the problem. Like if I would say, if I would say sine of pi x is equals to 0, may I know what must be the value of x? The x could be 1, could be 2, could be 3, could be 0, could be -1, could be -3. So some of the times I have seen the book straight away writes the sine pi x is equals to of 0 is always a true statement where x belongs to a z. And I know many of these students do not even know what this particular expression is talking about. So here the x is nothing but the independent variable. Here this sign indicates belongs to, z is nothing but the integer. What does that mean by the integer? It can have all of the possible values like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, -1, -2, -3, so on and so forth. Agreed? Agreed, no? Agreed, my dear friends, what I wanted to exactly say? Yes, what I am saying, so you should start from the number system and you should also have the application of the each and individual number system. I do not have much time to at least reveal what are their individual applications, but yes, engineering mathematics should be started from the number system. Yes, the next goes over here. Now the basics of the integration and the basics of the differentiation. I would say if you really want to grab all of the marks from the engineering mathematics, if you're not well acquainted with the differentiation as well as integration, spend around 10 to 12 days over the RD Sharma and try to solve all of the important sums on the differentiation as well as integration. Yes, the differentiation, integration and the process of the differentiation as well as integration must be by-hearted. I have seen many of the students who are not very comfortable with the engineering mathematics. They are not much comfortable over the integration as well as differentiation. If I would say what would be the integration of sin x cos x dx, they used to think, and end of the day they do not get answer. If you have in that state of level, definitely you won't be able to do good in engineering mathematics. Not only in engineering mathematics, you would not be able to do good on your technical subjects also. So what I wanted to say exactly over here, so I would say always start with the basics of the number system. Pick your RD Sharma, within 10 to 12 days, try to smash the concept of the basic integration as well as basic differentiation, because it would be repeatedly used in the different calculus. Maybe the basic of integration would be used in your core subjects also, Yes. So probably till this point I have communicated what I wanted to exactly communicate. Yes. Now let me move into the next slide. Here comes my roadmap. Once you'll once you'll visualize your syllabus, the order in which the syllabus has been given, it's entirely different. But the order which I would suggest all of you to follow would be this. See, at very beginning I would say you should focus over the basics of calculus. You should be focusing over the basics of calculus. Now one thing comes in your mind, sir, why don't we start from the remaining topics? No, my dear friends, see, the basic of calculus, the calculus word itself have come out from the word calculation. That means the basic calculation would be dealt within the concept of calculus, and the tools of calculus would be repeatedly used over the different topics like differential equation. My dear friends, if you are not well acquainted with the differentiation of the different single variable or double variable function, probably you would not be able to move forward in the differential equation. So obviously the differential equation is gone out. Again, linear algebra. Within the linear algebra, few of the special kind of the problem also requires few of the important tools of the calculus. So again, I am saying in linear algebra, you would not be move forward with certain high level of questions, because that demands again the basic concepts or the basic understanding of the calculus. Not only that, even in probability and statistics, once you deal with the random variable, random process, probability density functions, you will get to know most of the time you deal with the integration. And some of the time you also deal with the differentiation. What I am saying, so within the probability, if you have jumped it to the random variable, random process where we deal with the PDF, PMF, there if you are not well acquainted with the integration as well as differentiation, probably you are not able to feel the actual crux behind the probability mass function, probability density function. Again, the probability and statistics requires the basic concepts of the calculus, specifically the integral calculus. Not only that, even while dealing with the normal distribution, you also had to have the good command over the gamma integration, which comes repeatedly into the GATE examination. So what I am saying, the integral calculus is required. Similarly, the differential calculus is also required. So until and unless you are not having good command over these two topics, you may not be able to move ahead. So probability and statistics also requires the integral as well as differential calculus. Now once we come into the vector calculus, my dear friends, the vector calculus really for the electronics and instrumentation, I would say the toughest topic. Many of the students would say, no sir, it is not that tough. No, my dear friends, now it is a toughest topic. Why? Because the electromagnetic theory or the electromagnetic field theory has got included in all of three branches. Initially it was a part of the electronics alone. Few 4 to 5 years back it has got included in the electrical, and now this year it has also got included in the instrumentation. So the level of the questions which would come from the vector calculus would be utterly tougher inside. So what I would suggest to each one of you, look after the vector calculus in the very great way. Why? Because until and unless you are not well comfortable with the vector calculus, probably you would not be able to basically understand the concept of the electromagnetic field theory. Either you are from electrical, electronics or instrumentation. So I would suggest focus over this subject very much. And what are the topics or what are the subtopics which you have to focus within the vector calculus? Anyways, I would be explaining in the great detail. Next, the numerical methods. My dear friends, the numerical method is not there within the syllabus of electronics as well as electrical. In GATE 2021 specifically, this topic has been dropped. But yes, this topic is still there in instrumentation. So obviously the instrumentation people can follow this sequence and can summarize or can understand the basic concepts of the numerical method within this order of the syllabus. And yes, the electrical people who are interested preparing engineering services examination, many of the students also say it IES. Within the engineering services examination, once you'll go through its syllabus, you'll get to know the numerical methods have been included. So electrical people, if you are focusing over the engineering services examination, then they can also go through the numerical methods. And I have seen repeatedly one question do come from the complex variable. So yes, the complex variable is also very important. Complex variable is also very important. Yes. Yes, my dear friends. So let me explain a bit. So let me go into the working board. Yes. Let me go into the working board. Let me go into the working board. So at very beginning, what I have communicated, let me summarize each and everything. Start with our engineering mathematics by GATE Academy. First, read its synopsis or theoretical concept which has been given. Once you are done with this, you can straight away jump into the previous year question, PYQ, from your corresponding streams. Once you're done with this, you can expand your horizon. You can go to the remaining streams. Like if you're from electronics, you can go ahead with the electrical as well as instrumentation. Now, at least at this moment of time, you would have consolidated the different kinds of doubt you have. So straight away you can take the help of two books. The first book which I have referred, and that's nothing but the B.S. Grewal. So which are the topics should be referred from the B.S. Grewal? Because once you'll go into the detailed study of the B.S. Grewal, so many intense topic has been covered, which is not that important for the GATE aspects. So that is what I am saying. If you have stuck on a certain problem, you just can refer the B.S. Grewal, just keeping in mind that yes, I am focusing over those topics or the concepts of those questions alone. B.S. Grewal, which was clearly written. So the topics like vector calculus, yes, it is there in B.S. Grewal in the great detail. You can refer that. Similarly, the topics like probability density function, probability mass function, random variable, random process, definitely those can be referred from the B.S. Grewal. So I would refer the B.S. Grewal for the topics like vector calculus. Similarly, the second I can relate with probability density and mass function. And even you can be using this book for the differential equation. And now if you have doubt from the basic topics like, you can have the third point over here, basic topics like, I can say continuity and discontinuity, existence of the limit, numerical based on the limits, integral and differential calculus, problem or the word problem related to the probability, where we discuss about the permutation and combination. You can refer the book called R.D. Sharma. Yes. You can refer the book called R.D. Sharma. Now, in next slide, I would be just briefing what are the important topics you had specifically in engineering mathematics, which you should complete at very beginning. See, usually one question do come from integral calculus. Yes, this is a very, very important topic within the calculus. So usually the problem do come from this segment, used to be the property based problem, or usually property based problem. So the problem do come from this segment, used to be property based problem. Like you would be having an even function, odd function. In that case, they may ask you to get the definite integral, property based question. And now the latest trend indicates mostly they are framing the question around improper integration. So yes, you had to focus over the improper integration also. May I know how the structure of the improper integration looks like? the integration is said to be improper integration, improper definite integration, if it has got a limit and either of the limit goes to infinity or minus infinity, or in between there is a discontinuities. Anyways, I am not going into the detailed study of the each and individual problems, but yes, they are repeatedly asking the improper integration. So you had to have the good command over this. Yes. Next goes like, the next thing which has been repeatedly asked, no, you should have the good command over the gamma as well as the beta integration. Why I am saying you should have the good command over the gamma as well as beta integration? Because if they are not asking the problem related to the gamma integration in straight away, the concept of the gamma integration is utterly useful while solving the normal distribution. And yes, the problem do come repeatedly from that segment. So yes, the gamma integration is very, very important. So at very beginning, if I would say the integration or the integration calculus, usually repeatedly the problems do come from this segment, and you can expect the simple problems related to the definite integral. Definite integral. Yes. Now specifically for the civil and mechanical, they also used to ask the curve of a certain length, maybe if a certain closed contour has been rotated, so what would be the volume occupied by that rotation? So those problems also do come from the integral calculus, but yes, those problems are rare. So I would suggest at very beginning focus over these topics and try to smash all sort of problem out. And once it is done with this problem, you can go ahead with the different kinds of the problem. It's not like all of the problem related to the integral calculus has been consolidated over here. No, my dear friends, there are still so many integral calculus tools are there, like line integration, like surface integration, like volumetric integration, like arc length, like volume because of a rotation of a closed contour. There are several topics are still been left out. So once you're done with this, then only you should touch those topics. Yes, and then you can go ahead with arc length calculation. Then you can go ahead with the line integration, then surface integration, and similarly volume integration. And here one more important kind of problem do come repeatedly, and that's nothing but the area bounded by the two distinct curves. Yes. So this must be focused over the integral calculus. Yes, once you're done with the integral calculus, so now you can switch it over the differential calculus. So I would suggest once again, you should have the thorough idea, the differentiation of all univariable functions, and once you are done with the univariable functions differentiation, by default you would be thorough with the partial differential equation or the partial differentiation. So at very beginning I would suggest you can start with the maxima and minima, because repeatedly problem do come from this segment, and once I'll see the GATE 2021, the problem has been repeatedly asked from this particular topic. You should have a thorough idea about the maxima and minima. What is the saddle point? What is the point of inflection? What's the maxima? What's the minima? What's the critical point? Whether the extrema and the stationary points are same, and even you should also focus over the one variable as well as two independent variable function. One independent as well as two independent variable function. So I should say after finishing this, you should straight away jump into the maxima and minima. Yes. Now, if I go ahead with the next topic which you should be covering within the differential calculus, and that's nothing but I would say mean value theorem. Although the questions come very rare from this particular topic. So basically the three different kinds of the mean value theorem has to get concluded: CMVT, LMVT, or MVT, Cauchy's, Lagrange's, and Rolle's. So I would suggest you should go ahead with this MVT. Now what happens whenever you deal with the MVTs? Whenever you deal with the MVTs, here it talks about the differentiability test Similarly, continuity test, and many of the student gets stuck over the MVT because they do not have the precise idea about the continuity as well as differentiability. That is what I would say. That is what I would say. Within the differential calculus, you should start from the basics of the functions, which is existence of the limit, numericals related to the limit, then continuity as well as differentiability. Once you are done with this, definitely you can straight away jump into the MVT. So what I would say, I would push few important topics before starting the maxima, minima as well as MVT, and those topics would be the basics of the function, continuity, discontinuity, and differentiability, and the numericals related to the limits numerical. Limits numerical. So this must be intruded somewhere here. So this must be your plan of action once you dive into the differential calculus. If still you guys are having any sort of doubt, no, you can put it over the live chat. So at least I'll get to know which are the areas where you guys are finding problem. So I will try to address those problems exclusively. Yes, agreed. So you should start from the integral calculus, and anyways at very beginning I would say you should start from the number system. From the number system you can straight away jump into the integral calculus. At integral calculus, you should focus over the high weightage topics, which are property based questions, improper integration, gamma and beta integration. Once you are done with this, you can go ahead with the rest of the topic. Similarly, the second topic which you should start in your plan, that must be differential calculus. Within the differential calculus, basically you are going to deal with the two different varieties of the problem, the problems related to the maxima and minima, and similarly the problems related to the MVT. And once you will be discussing the MVT, basically here the concept of the discontinuity, continuity, differentiability do come into the picture. So basically, why don't we address those sort of problem earlier also, and you would see at least one problem do come from this zone also. Mostly that problem used to be the problem or the numerical problem based on the limit, or here and there the problem do come from the concept of continuity as well as discontinuity. Yes, and I have seen in the past few years one important trend have come. The problem have been coming from the concept of m1 into m2 is equals to of minus 1. What does it mean of it? If you have two tangent or two straight lines, when those tangents or the straight lines would be perpendicular to each other, they would be perpendicular to each other provided the slope of first line and the slope of second line, their multiplication stands for minus 1. This year also the problem have come from this concept. And anyways, whenever we talk about the tangent or slope, basically we are going to discuss about the differential calculus alone. Yes. Now it's time to discuss about the differential equation. Let me go forward. Now within the differential equation, you should start from the very basics of the differential equation. First, you should have the difference between ordinary differential equation and partial differential equation. You need not to go into their application part, but yes, while watching the differential equation, you must have one thing in a clear, whether you are dealing with the ordinary differential equation or the partial differential equation. That's the first thing. Once you're done with this, you can just focus over the ordinary differential equation. And now the ordinary differential equation can be categorized based on different behavior parameters. Like you can start with the order. What is the order of the differential equation? What is the degree over the differential equation? Many of the times, most of us are very clear about the order of the differential equation, which is nothing but the highest derivative term present into your differential equation. But many of the times we are not well acquainted with the degree, and many of the differential equation do not carry even degree also. So you can focus more over the degree. Similarly, if you are dealing with the ordinary differential equation, most of the time the question do come in a gate examination used to be the linear differential equation. So you can even bifurcate the ordinary differential equation in terms of linear differential equation or non-linear differential equation. And even the linear differential equation can be further bifurcated whether the physical input is being applied across the system or not. And now the linear differential equation may become homogeneous or non-homogeneous. Yes, the problem do come from this segment. Now third, you can start over the first order differential equation. First order differential equation. Yes. Now the first order differential equation, if I will discuss about the first order differential equation, we start with a variable separable technique. So obviously it's the mother of the solution of the differential equation. So you have to start from here, variable separable technique. Then second is gonna be homogeneous technique. Anyways, once you'll follow the homogeneous technique, end of the day it lands up to the variable separable technique. Third, I may discuss about the linear differential equation. And here we also discuss about the reducible to linear differential equation. And most of the time the problem do come from this segment. Agreed what I am saying? So once you are focusing over the differential equation, no, whether you have focused over these points or not, but yes, the linear differential equation or the equation which can be reduced to the first order linear differential equation, it is a very, very important in use of. Fourth, here and there they also ask the problem from the exact differential equation. You need not to go into the detailed study of the exact differential equation, because once you lift BS gravel, you will also find the different kinds of the differential equation can be changed it to the exact form of the differential equation. That study is not at all required. That is what I am saying. Do not go forward, go backward. First start with our book. Try to fetch which sort of problem have been repeatedly coming and just follow those questions and try to smash those questions. And the certain topic where you are not able to put your logic, you can refer the book. Sir was scientist in BRC, your guidance is valuable, sir. Anyways, Srishti, I would say one thing, at precisely 9 p.m. I would be having a session precisely over the BARC. There I would be discussing about their interview process, their written process, the atmosphere in BARC, what are the different cutoff you can expect over the BRC. I am going to discuss the each and individual official as well as non-official process of the BARC. The official process, many of us would be well acquainted with the official process, because you see here and there, maybe in different sites, in different YouTubes, but I have been there in BARC for the 5 years, so definitely I know the each and individual things about the BARC. I would be discussing in the great detail, and that video is supposed to come in our main channel, so do not miss that. Yes, now fourthly, you go into the higher order linear differential equation, higher order linear differential equation, and here basically you focus with all of the coefficients as constant coefficients. And yes, the problem do come repeatedly from this particular topic, and usually you had to focus over the CF as well as PI, because their linear sum becomes the general solution for that given differential equation. Yes, and here I have seen repeatedly the problem have started coming from Cauchy's form of the differential equation. So I would recommend to each one of you, the Cauchy's form of the differential equation is not a form of differential equation which contains all of the coefficients as constant, but yes, after deducing this particular differential equation, we can derive a differential equation with only and only constant coefficients. And yes, the problem have been coming this particular zone repeatedly, so you must be focusing on this also. Yes, I would recommend this as the another important topic within the differential equation. And yes, so these are the three topics from where the questions do come repeatedly. And now I would recommend one thing. You need not to follow all of the questions which have come in the BS Gravel, because in BS Gravel there are so many difficult zones. The problem have come, like they would have the 4 or different 5 types of the problem, which or those problem can be easily converted in a form of exact differential equation. You need not to go into that detail. You just had to see m of dx plus n of dy is equals to 0 when the given differential equation can be wrote as the exact form of the differential equation. Yes. So this many important point you had to remember while you would be discussing the differential equation. Now it's time for linear algebra. So anyways, let me go back and let me go into the next slide. Linear algebra. So obviously in linear algebra we are going to deal with the different kinds of the matrix as well as the determinant of those given square matrix. If I would discuss what are the important topics which you should cover at very beginning of the linear algebra, I would say at very beginning you must be referring the different kinds of the important square matrix. Although once you'll go through the different kinds of the important matrix, you'll get to know there are 20 or more than 20 number of square matrix. You have like square matrix, then column matrix, row matrix, skew symmetric matrix, symmetric matrix, orthogonal matrix, Hermitian matrix, skew Hermitian matrix. Yes, I would say at very beginning you should have the little bit ideas about different kinds of the matrix. You should start from here. And I have seen here and there the problem do come from this segment also. IN students are waiting for that session, sir. This is Satish, sir. Oh, thank you. Thanks a lot, sir. Thanks a lot. I could not recognize you. Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot. The great Satish sir is here, the king of instrumentation. I could not recognize because I was not knowing his full name. I was just watching his first name, and that is Satish. Sorry, sir, I could not recognize you. Thanks a lot, and I am very privileged that you are there over my live chat. Anyways, the different kinds of the matrix. Anyways, the problem do not come very rigorously from this particular zone. Actually, the question which comes from this particular zone, no, they are rank. Yes, the question do come repeatedly from the rank. If you had to start the linear algebra straight away, you can also start from the rank. That's the first thing. The question do come repeatedly. And from the rank also you can extrapolate this concept beyond further, the different kinds of the solution. Different kinds of the solution. So basically you take the reference of two linear equation. First is inhomogeneous and the second is gonna be homogeneous form. So you get the different kinds of the output like infinitely many solution, unique solution or no solution. Yes, the question do come repeatedly from that zone. Now the next thing from where the questions have been coming repeatedly, and that is nothing but the concept around eigenvalues and eigenvectors. If you'll see the GATE 2021, you'll get to know the plenty amount of problem has been framed just based on this concept. So eigenvalues and vectors, and the properties of the eigenvalues which gets connected to the determinant as well as stresses. The problem have been coming from those zones also. So I would recommend the crux of the linear algebra falls over this. You should have a great command over this many subtopics within the linear algebra. And yes, you had to go into the great detail of the rank, different kinds of the solution, eigenvalues as well as the physical significance of the eigenvectors. I would say yes, you can refer book at least on this topic. And the question also do come from the concept of Cayley-Hamilton, CH. Yes, so I would say the most important topic within the linear algebra, definitely I would recommend that's a bunch of rank, different kinds of the solution, eigenvalues and eigenvectors. And I would recommend, if you really wanted to know, to refer the book over the rank as well as eigenvalues and eigenvector. You can refer the book because the level of the questions which has been framed by the IITs is really intense. So this is all about the linear algebra. Anyways, let me go back. Here goes the probability and stats. Anyways, one problem is sure short, that one probability and stats. Sure short one word problem is going to come from the probability word problem, and it has been seen even in few of the years. Even the one question related to the word problem has been picked up from the technical section, and even one question has been picked up from or in aptitude. So nobody can take this topic light. You had to be thorough into the probability based word problems, because it's going to give at least 2 marks in your GATE examination. Yes, and specifically the topic or the subtopic which has been repeatedly asked, that's nothing but the Bayes theorem. But I cannot say the problem would come from the Bayes theorem, because the most of the time the problem used to come from the Bayes theorem or conditional probability. Conditional probability. This time also one of a very well designed problem in electronics I've framed, where we had the 3 number of coins. Out of 3, the one was fair coin, head and tail. The second was unfair coil, both of head, and the third was unfair coin, both were tail. It was given the first toss indicates head. May I know what's the probability that the second toss would also have head? It was a well designed problem, and that problem has to get smashed with the help of tree structure. Well designed problem. Well designed problem. Once you're thorough with this, yes, Vikas Kumar is saying anyways, if you'll talk about the engineering services examination mathematics, first of all, the mathematics is not there in the part of electronics. ESE itself is not there in instrumentation. If we'll discuss about ESE for the electrical engineering mathematics there within your syllabus, and yes, the numerical method do also exist within your syllabus. So what I wanted to say, if you'll say ESE, anyways, in instrumentation, I cannot appear in engineering services examination. In electrical, I can appear in engineering services examination, and the numerical method is in the part of your syllabus. And in electronics, obviously, you can appear into the engineering services examination, but in electronics, mathematics itself is not there in your syllabus. Forget about the numerical methods. Okay. So if you really want to dive into the ESE electrical, then you have to focus over the mathematics, and if you are from electronics, you need not to focus over the mathematics at all. You need not to focus over the mathematics at all. And now once this is done, I would be focusing over the random process and random variable. Definitely one problem would come from this domain. Random process and random variable. Random variable. Random variable. And the different kind of CRV and DRV has to be studied, like binomial distribution, Poisson distribution, because many of the tough problem can be just smashed using the binomial or the Poisson distribution, and similarly normal distribution, Gaussian distribution, uniform distribution. Yes, the problem do come repeatedly in engineering mathematics, and the problem also picked up many of the times in communication. So the electronics people cannot escape from this particular topic, because you are going to get the huge amount of chunk of number at least from this particular topic. So yes, it's utterly important for the electronics, yes, for the electronics. So the probability is also done almost, and once you have been dealing with the rank, different kinds of the solution, you will see this concept would be useful in control system when you would be dealing with state space analysis. So what I am saying, the knowledge of linear algebra would add on the concept in your control system, specifically when we deal with the state space analysis. The probability is also done, and the specifically random process and random variable would be very important when we deal with the probability as well as stats, or specifically in the communication. So let me go back. So here comes the vector calculus, my dear friends. That's the most important topic, and from here you can expect even 4 marks, 3 to 4 marks. And if I would be able to recall, probably in electrical 3 marks have come from this topic. Yes, it is very important. Why? Because now the electromagnetic theory have got included within your syllabus. So the questions would come intensively from this particular topic, and you cannot confine your knowledge till the Cartesian coordinate system. You also had to go into the spherical as well as cylindrical coordinate system. Spherical as well as, yes, spherical as well as cylindrical coordinate system. So if we'll discuss about, let me go back, if we'll discuss about the vector calculus, so specifically electrical, electronics and instrumentation, you had to focus in all of the coordinate system. Either you start with the Cartesian, cylindrical, spherical, and you had to be very, very thorough about all of the vector integration, which starts from vector line integration. One problem have straight away come from the vector line integration this year in electrical engineering, where it was asked to get the work done by a charge for bringing a charge from a certain point to the certain point and bringing back to a certain point, So here goes vector calculus integration. Then I should be focusing over the vector surface integration. Yes, here also one problem have come when I was dealing with the electronics paper 2021, because there it was being asked how much flux is going out from a closed surface. That problem was a pure problem of vector surface integration. Yes, you must be thorough with the different differential operator, which starts from divergence, curl and gradient. Once in a while they also focus over the Laplacian operator. So yes, these are the important points where all of us should be focused on. And here and there the question also come from the basics of the vector calculus, where we focus over the vector addition, vector subtraction, vector multiplication, dot or the cross multiplication. Yes, numerical method. Usually the two numerical method technique comes repeatedly. Anyways, it is exclusive for the instrumentation, and that is nothing but the trapezium rule, specifically Newton-Raphson rule, Runge-Kutta task with the order of 4. So I would suggest in numerical method, if you are not able to go through each and individual concepts, so basically focus over these three concepts. And yes, if you have gone through the basic concepts of the numerical method from the scratch, probably you need not to by heart any of the formula. Each of the individual formulas have been derived from few of the concepts. So I would suggest to the instrumentation people, you need not to by heart the formulas for the numerical method. If you by heart the formula, sure shot you would not be able to smash the problem in the gate, because they are asking the problem from the limitations of the numerical methods technique. So until and unless you are not well acquainted, you may not be able to solve that problem out. So anyways, if I would be discussing about the numerical methods, let me go into the next slide. If I would be focusing over the numerical methods, I would suggest at very beginning slot, you just focus over Newton-Raphson, which is the technique to solve the algebraic and transcendental equations. Then you can focus over the trapezium rule, which is the method to solve the definite integral, trapezium rule. Then you can focus over the Simpson's one-third, and then you can focus over the Runge-Kutta's order of 4. But one thing must be very clear to all of us, it is there only for gate instrumentation. It is only there for the gate instrumentation and for the engineering services examination electrical. Yes, engineering services examination electrical. Yes. Now here comes the last topic. The last topic is nothing but the complex variable. It is an intense topic. You cannot say it's that straight topic. But if you focus over the complex variable, if you focus over the complex variable, I would recommend just focus over the 2 and 3 important points. First, Cauchy's integration. This year also their basic focus was on the Cauchy's integration. So yes, the first is gonna be Cauchy's integration. Second, analytic function, the condition for analytic function. For analytic function. So I would suggest this plan you must follow. Yes. Yes. And the recommended books, which has been precisely marked over here. Just a minute. That is nothing but the Higher Engineering Mathematics by B.S. Grewal, R.D. Sharma, and the last is Gate Engineering Mathematics. And I should suggest to follow the order from backward side. Just a minute. from backward side like this. So any sort of doubt if you guys are still having over the engineering mathematics, you can ask over the live chat. Otherwise, I would just end my today's session. And yes, I would request to each one of you be present sharply at 9 p.m. We are going to discuss so many things regarding the BRC interview as well as written process. And in the same time, as I have been there in BRC for the 5 years, I would also be discussing about the environment in BRC and how joyful work we do in BRC. How joyful work we do into the BRC. Anyways, for today's video, till this particular point, nobody should have any doubt as such. We'll meet sharply at 9 p.m. Then take care, bye-bye, and don't get demoralized if you could not do well in your GATE examination. Bye-bye, take care.